Which is better, renting out the whole house or renting out the rooms? With the popularity of sites like roomies.com, also roomster.com or roommate.com, where you can just list your property and find people willing to pay you to rent a room in your property. All right. And we all know about properties like rental.com, marketplace, Craigslist, where you can put your properties on for rent. Okay. But let's do a comparison of the two to which is better for you as an owner. Traditional rentals, meaning renting out the whole house. So I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. A 2-bedroom property here will probably get, I think the average rent right now is about $1,700 in the city of Charlotte, okay? So with that being said, let's say that you have a 4-bedroom apartment, right? A 4-bedroom apartment. And with a 4-bedroom apartment, let's say that you are getting $2,300 a month, all right? $2,300 a month for a 4-bedroom in Charlotte, okay? Now, this is much simpler, especially if you have property management. Hand the property over to the property management company. Once you hand it over to the property management company, they do everything else. They put the tenant in there. You sit back, collect the payment, and get the income statement each month. That's pretty simple, right? It's not as active as room rentals. I will admit, renting properties the traditional way is less work, all right? Way less of a headache. Now, as far as renting out rooms, it's a lot more active. Believe me, it's a lot more active, a lot more involved. Yes, you have to check on things. Yes, there might be a little bit more turnover, but that's cool. Ideally, with a room rental, I want to get somebody who wants to stay like 6 months or more, ideally. All right, that's what I would like, ideally. But sometimes they stay less. And of course, you got your good ones that they stay a lot longer because these people are getting their life together, all right? You got adults out here that, you know, if you gave them 2 years free rent, they wouldn't be able to get their life together. So these people, they just need a little bit more time and patience to get their life together. And in the meantime, they're paying you to rent out your room. Now, with room rentals, right, the numbers really make a lot of sense at 4 bedrooms or more. Okay, that's 4 bedrooms or more. All right, so that's when it really makes a lot of sense. So what do I mean by that, right? So let's say that you're getting $250 a room, right? And you got a 4-bedroom. Well, that's $1,000 a week. So now, right, you're making $4,000 instead of grossing $2,300. All right. And then you're probably going to get paid more for the master. All right. So please keep that in mind as well. So I got a 4-bedroom that grosses about $4,400 a month. As far as my expenses, I do have to cover the light bill. All right. I do have to cover the electric bill. In the winter, it is higher. Typically in the summer, it's about $120, $130. Water bill, $100. And then my cleaning crew I'm paying them about $180 every other week for them to come clean out that particular property. All right. And then all the rest of that I'm able to make. Now, it is more active. I'm just being honest. It's a lot more active. Batteries do die on the door that you might have to go to swap out the batteries and things of that nature. Okay. Sometimes you get complaints. You get a lot more complaints because somebody moves somebody's stuff out of a cabinet, somebody's making too much noise, etc. That does happen, okay? That does happen, all right? Somebody's breaking the rules. I recently had somebody move in their girlfriend inside of a room, all right? Move their girlfriend, and they would just argue all day, okay? So now you're bothering the other tenants, okay? So I had to put that person out, all right? So these things happen. 2 instances, I had the police come to my property. One time, a young lady invited her fiance, and it turned into a domestic ex-fiance. Let me say that because that's what she told me. She called out the engagement, He chased her around with a knife. The police had to come. I had to put her out. Recently, somebody was arguing, the guy that moved his girlfriend, was arguing with his girlfriend, and I had to put her out. And come to find out, she was the one paying all the bills, and he didn't do anything, much of anything, all right? So he was just a problem, and I had to put him out. So now I got a vacant room that I have to fill again, all right? So these things do happen. Now, overall, what do I make more money in? Of course, it's the room rentals, all right? Just like with traditional rentals, you go through the bad and then eventually you get to the good. Same thing with room rentals. You're gonna get a bad apple. But would you rather make $2,300 a month or, $4,400? You know what I mean? It's something to think about, right? Like gross $4,400 rather. And the way Charlotte is going, these room rentals, you're doing people a favor. Ideally you want 2 people to 1 bathroom, but in some cases it doesn't work out like that. And even though, these room rentals, right, they are going to cause more of a headache, they are going to require more work, but the returns are insane. All right, I got people that they got 5 bedrooms, they're making about $60,000 a year. I want to say on my 5 bedroom, I'm making I'm thinking about like $55,000 a year or something on my 5 bedroom, But once you get to the 4 bedroom or 5 bedroom houses, the returns it's clear on what to do. But if it's less, like if it's 3 bedroom or less, renting out rooms, yeah, you might well go traditional. That's my take on it. But I think room rentals give you way more cash flow. In the meantime, check out this video next to me. Whereas if you get 5 of these room rentals, right? Just 5 of these room rental houses, you can be financially independent. I'm Nasser, aka the real estate guru. I'm not a guru. I'm a guru because I actually do this business. Peace.